Speaker of Parliament, Honorable Bagbin, Apple, a year Honorable Abujinapo, caretaker for trade and industry. Wabona basudie pa na chese obi bisa say and Honorable Abujinapo aya chese yes Speaker of Parliament abona basu kampo on the yard state say other ministers I work and him say ensuano na omuso omonye nyomaye na in fact current ministers na obi biara or ye na so be minister work and him say the future ministers no omuso omonye den omufasa ensem we de into omonfu na omonye enye ano shipa aha GhanaTube ensema ekoso Ghana trending ones no eno na semetena sisea na midini na subscribe mami na notification on so nsem no 72 ma wenya ne enten pass no nia ekoso Ghana yenko honorable speaker na afi so Abujinapo omunsem no bio the Speaker of Parliament album Somali Kingsport Bagbin with the full name no the amount has commended the Minister of Lands and Natural Resources, Samuel Abujinapo, for his diligence to duty. The Speaker therefore urged ministers in current regime and future ministers to emulate Mr. Jinapo, who is the caretaker Minister for Trade and Industry. Mr. Bagbin's commendation follows the presentation of what he said was a well-researched policy statement on consumer protection in Ghana by the minister, who is also the MP for Damango. In seminal Mr. Bagbin said, so Osha researcher Honorable Abujinapo Ayapadia Otone Boase where there were 2x4 investigations and now research into a year near Odiba consumer protection policy bi o money ban just so ne boase all year research pa and no aboa ama the research ne ene nia Odiba beto Ghana fo enim no koso yi pa enti Honorable Alban na baso catch and say in fact waya dey para in his research to catch other ministers are more various ministries na so omonye den omo emulate near Honorable Abujinapo ayen in that presentation on the floor of Parliament in Accra ahead of the Consumer Rights Day on March 15, Mr. Jinapo traced the history of consumer protection over the centuries across jurisdictions and its importance to the protection of the consumer rights and the need for Ghana to have such a law. A law we want to have in Ghana. And Honorable Abujinapo ahead of 15 March Consumer Day we must have a law Ghana because law in relation to consumers ni omo keka ka ho ade bia ehu Ghana hanu yie pa enunti Honorable Alban na baso he said, let me thank the minister for always giving Parliament prior notice of very key interventions he wants to make, particularly dealing with policy and legislation. I think the industry of the minister needs commendation, and I call on other ministers to emulate the good example, not only in the regime but future regimes. Or see, not only in this regimes but future regime. We expect that cooperation between Parliament and the executives, it gives us the opportunity to do enough research, prepare and then make input into what government wants to do. And so one prepare enough there and some shallow presentation be into where you almost say research he really took his time and research into what or no other presented to Parliament Honorable Alban na baso. There are also there are a lot of key policies we are having challenges with today because Parliament was not involved at all. We are not only dealing with goods, we are also talking about services. Parliament is the representation of the people, and as you know, all the power belongs to the people. So some of these issues we need to work together so that when it comes up, we will all be in the position to explain to the people, because there are a lot of implications here. Say, honorable album Bagbin, Eddie Semi Etuana, say, oh, sometimes no, or in Semi but so Muntimi ends Nasi, and yet and sometimes no, or implementing we not gonna for a visa in some, not gonna for Eddie on some bad, so Muntimi answer, particularly, especially a bit say E-levy. Mode ba won ko fo se o ma shata anye ehwehwemu ewo E-levy no ho enu nti ubon se edu baby na Ghana for ebisa question. A lot of questions are Ghanaians ebisa no had no answers to now, because ehwehwemu no ankoso ye o metimi anye ehwehwemu entimi and deal with all the areas involved in that concerning that bill. Enti sisi no say other ministers no and emulate near honorable Abujinapo I send your bear so many adding to ya not Ghana for ABC and we bring good answers to it now. So implementation no ever so easy. Or say I think the minister has given a good account of himself and we all need to commend him. Mr. Jinapo had told the House that though Ghana's attempt to protect consumers predated its independence with statuses like the Weights and Measures Ordinance 1896 and the Control of Prices Regulations 1949 and other post-independence enactments fragmented across sectors, the country was yet to have a law that was holistically protect consumers. According to him, the state of affairs, long recognized as undesirable, has left the market unregulated in terms of consumer protection, leading to constant violation of consumer rights without adequate remedy. In this regard, Mr. Jinapo said government, under the able and distinguished leadership of President Akufo-Addo, is working rigorously to ensure the passing of a consumer protection law. Into where the Eyampa Oko marketer, sometimes prices of things no send ya no bekoha where at the back same product no obekoha we say 5 cities, we say 6 cities, we say 7 cities, we say 8 cities near here and no more issue and just honorable Abujinapo Apapa you almost say yeah, the pass that bill into a law, no passing into law, and yeah, markets now you being controlled prices, not for balance say, obedient ever form and obedient a wash na and no element in one say Ghana. Into that bill, he said, will in the coming days be laid before cabinet for consideration and approval, and subsequently for the consideration for the House. Mr. Speaker, the days when people depended on what they produced are long gone. Today, everyone depends to some extent on goods and services provided by others. The market dependence of consumers has increased considerably, making it imperative for us to protect consumer rights and it's with the coming into force of the African Continental Free Trade Area and a host of the secretaries. Consumer protection law is more important now than ever. It is my hope that even when the time eventually comes, after the bill has passed through the security of the Eagle Eye Cabinet of President Akufo-Addo, this August House will fully support government to pass this very consequential legislation. And Mr. Jinapo and a day in same way in our to say on the empire when it says that consumer rights, any consumer law, any regulation of prices, name a cabinet, no at the end and finally no omubeje atum send ye control of prices no ebeye ejuma ewa anu say who the importance of consumer law enti honorable Abujinapo and the day in same way etudwa eno ene nam so ama onabo Bagbin abo na baso pa se we de wato ne bo ase aye hwehwemu e was a consumer law no ho na afei so ebeboa Ghana fo nyenti o se other ministers no ehwe na omunsua no aha ena bidi mu AC e wo GhanaTube na so ansa na meso say o comment dia betimi akọ comment section na we ja comment no e de amame na odofo me be mejebre na makinkan comment a o de bebe me e wo comment section na aha e GhanaTube sisi ade odofo me be oni makam